So we have a running joke in my family. When we leave for dinner with friends, my wife says, Julie, can we just go to one dinner without talking about grief, death and dying, and challenges? I'm like, it's a fair question. Because I do talk about it a lot. I mean, most people talk about travel and books and food. I'm like, how are you dealing with unmet expectations? And are you planning for your aging? It's just difficult sometimes, but I don't usually talk about catastrophic grief or traumatic grief. What's usually part of the conversation is something much quieter, daily grief. Daily grief are those things that you experience where it's quiet, it's almost misunderstood and unnoticed. Things like a change of identity due to divorce or job loss, or stress from dealing with aging parents, that weird feeling that you get when you are an empty nester, financial challenges, and also being marginalized or underestimated, that sinking feeling. So, my question has been if we're losing all the time, how do we live well? And I'd like to invite you to have an experience at the beginning of this talk. It's optional. Please get as comfortable as you can in your chairs and take a few deep breaths if you'd like. And you can close your eyes, you can put your hand on your heart if you want, and bring to mind a loss that you've had, not something too major, not something too fresh, something that you've metabolized. Bring that to mind and hold that in your mind and heart and body. You got it? Now, same position in your chair, just move into, now that you've metabolized it somewhat, what have you learned about yourself that's new? How do you approach things differently? How are you more resilient or strong? And if you'd like, you can take one big inhale in and exhale, and you can open your eyes and we'll come back into the talk. Thank you. So that's awesome. We are in this experience of grief and resilience and joy together. And when I was born, you might say I was born into grief. My mom had a miscarriage not long before I was conceived, and her beloved mother, my grandmother, died 3 months before I was born. So I didn't really learn about grief. I was born into it. And like you, I've had over the course of my life a lot of challenging experience that gave me the feeling of grief. I watched a friend drown when I was 16. I've had so many friends die young, so many, so soon, really a shock. My parents have died. I've lost jobs. I've lost businesses. I've lost marriages. Yes, plural. And been alone. Grief is not rare, it's constant. And yet, we push it away with things like overuse of alcohol or drugs, getting addicted to our phones and our technology, even pushing the very people away that could help us. Or, my favorite, toxic positivity. I'm fine. I've got this. I don't need any help. Thank you. Oh. Or doing crazy things, just crazy stuff. So, I've done all of these. I don't recommend it, especially not all at once. So, if the challenge isn't to avoid loss, what is it? Maybe it's to get good at loss. When I turned 40, I lost a lot of things. I came out, and simultaneously, I lost my marriage, my spiritual community. I didn't have a job. I was broke, more than broke, in debt. I was really alone, under legal threat. So one night in this tiny little apartment that I had moved into, I called my therapist, and she picked up the phone, thankfully. I explained that I'm so sad. I feel terrible. I feel like I'm drowning in sadness. I feel humiliated. I don't know what's going to happen. And it was great. She listened very closely. And after a long pause, she said, I don't know what to tell you, sweetie, but you've got to stop paying such close attention to your feelings. Well, which is kind of, I thought it was the point of the exercise, okay? But I took it to heart, and I didn't feel things about it, thought about it. I thought it through, and I felt my feelings, and I came to an important decision. I bought a broken down boat. Okay, it looks like it's a reject out of Star Wars or Star Trek props, right? And then an amazing thing happened. My friends, expert boaters, who happened to also have been my high school humanities teacher and music teacher, taught me everything about that boat. How to fix it. We replaced the head, we replaced the stove, we replaced the refrigerator, and then how to do engine mechanics, how to change the oil and troubleshoot, how to fix the propeller without dropping the propeller into the depths, and how to navigate that boat solo in rough waters. That boat didn't fix my life, but it gave me something else: agency. The ability to move forward when I didn't know where I was going, and delve into making something work when I had no idea what was going on. And that points to something altogether different. Many of us were taught that grief happens in stages. First you do this, then you do this, then you do this. But there's a whole body of evolving research about grief. And one concept in particular that stood out to me is the concept of dual processing. So I'm going to give you a demonstration. Dual processing is a process of oscillation. So you can be grieving and then move into just a regular everyday activity. You can, I'm going to show you, okay? You can be in a relationship, a new relationship where you're in love, and be feeling the grief of the old relationship. It's pretty cool. You can be running a great meeting, and then you can go into the restroom and cry and come back and run a great meeting. I've done that. Possibly more than once. But here's the thing, and here's what this reminds me of, is the poet Rainer Maria Rilke said, take your practice powers, which I think is this, and stretch them across two contradictions, because joy wants to know itself in you. remember that boat? Okay. It gave me great joy. And I'm sure, I thought this, and I'm sure others thought this too. What is she doing? She buy this boat. She's broke. She's alone. She doesn't know what she's doing. And now she's sailing off by herself in essentially what is a 28-foot bomb. And here's the thing. That boat also gave me this place. And there were times where I felt so alone in the marina, eating stale crackers and old cheese, let's say, and feeling so lost and so sad. Like, I would rather have a terminal diagnosis than feel this way. But I don't regret those moments. They taught me how to expand and inform how I live today, how I love, and how I sit with people in their hardest moments. Sometimes grief is too heavy to bear alone, and we need to seek out friends and professional support. I know on the professional support side, I've definitely benefited and from friends as well. My guess is when we did the group exercise that the grief might not have been very far from the surface for you. And if you think about just the last few years, we've dealt with a lot of loss. COVID. I don't know how it was for you, but after all that stuff I just told you, I thought I had my life nailed. And then boom, COVID. Many people died. Really tough. We lost our sense of normalcy. We lost our trust in institutions, and to some extent, our trust in each other. But when we learn how to oscillate and we learn how to grieve, when something is lost, we can ask the question, what new can come in this space? And when something breaks, we can ask the question, what new can be built? You can be happy and you can be sad, but if you want to have joy, you need to oscillate and understand grief. In some ways, they come from the same place. Every day, we're oscillating. We're learning things that are new. And joy does not live in a loss-free life. Joy lives in a life where we're always learning in ways big and small how to live, how to build, and how to love again and again and again. Thank you.